So, Matt Stell, last year you performed on the C2C Spotlight stages in London and Glasgow. This year you've been upgraded to the main stages. You're performing for the very first time here in Ireland, in Dublin. How much are you looking forward to hitting the stages across the weekend?
Oh man, I can't tell you how excited we are about this. You know, we came over for the first time a year ago, and it was our first experience with country music fans. You know, on this side of the pond, and not only that, but this will be the first time we ever get to play in Ireland proper. I'm really excited about it, man. People around here love their music, and so much great music comes from here. So I'm really excited.
Last month you put out this 6-track EP called One of Us. I mean, the title track just really stands out for me. What was it for you that appealed to you about it to record it?
Every character in that song, because that's kind of what it is. It's kind of a lineup of characters, and I know that guy, or the girl. Like, I know that person that's in that song. In each one of those characters, and when I was listening to it the first time, the verse, the chorus, and it said, I was like, man, this is a great song. And then the second verse comes along, and it talks about a guy who unfortunately, wrecks his truck and it doesn't make it, and kind of, thinking about that person and sort of toasting to him as part of that second verse. And man, I lost a really good friend in years ago, that exact same way, man. And when I heard that song, I thought immediately of my buddy John. And every night when I get to sing it, I get to have good memories of him and his family. And that's what makes that song matter so much to me. It's really personal.
Tell me about Man Made, as in, that must be a really special addition to the set list. I feel like it's a real sing-along anthem, yeah?
It can be. Songs mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For me, that song is largely celebrating the women in my life who've made such an impact, raising me up and supporting and setting a good example, like my mom and my grandmas mainly. That song is it's special in that way, and it means a lot of things to a lot of people.
Back in January, Cheat Codes, electronic dance trio, they put out this incredible compilation album featuring a load of country stars, including yourself. It's not the most obvious pairing, and when I heard about this, the concept of the album, I was a bit like, what? But it's actually a brilliant record. How did you get involved?
Man, it was so fun. I'm just like everybody else. I listen to all kind of music, and I love all kind of music. And I had this opportunity to, initially they wanted me to just collab and record a song that they had kind of picked out. And I was like, yeah, man, that's a great song. But then I went into the studio with some guys and kind of wrote a track for it, just like to kind of see. And it ended up being something we were really proud of. And then we sent it to those guys, and man, it just turned into something that's really cool and really different. We love playing it live because it is so different, and it goes over so well because it is kind of like EDM sort of thing, with a little bit of a country lyric. And man, anytime you can mash up music like that and it makes sense, it's always a lot of fun, man. And enjoyed writing it, and enjoyed playing it live. We're gonna play it here at C2C for sure.
Do you like that, what the listener or the public perception of Matt Stell is, to very much try and challenge that and evolve, from record to record?
Definitely, man. I think that, it's kind of a longer story, I guess, but I moved to Nashville to be a songwriter, and I thought I would write songs, hopefully for big artists, and I hoped I would have my little band that I would do my, kind of follow my muse around with. And things didn't happen that way. I wrote a song and it kind of changed my life. I pray for you that being that song. I'm so proud of it, and I'm so fortunate to have a song people care about. But then I had to learn then. I went from being the guy that writes songs to the guy that sings them on the radio. And so having to figure out how to navigate that and still be true to myself, but, understand that I have this, opportunity, really learning how to do that in a really authentic way is been a real like journey, and in a good way. So I'm always trying to like keep those tracks kind of, or I'm trying to overlap those two things, because sometimes they don't. So I love it when it does.
I mean, you're talking to a guy who works in commercial radio. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of collaborations, I loved your duet with Tenille Arts.
Yeah,
there was a song on her Girl to Girl album called Over You Is You. How did that happen?
Yeah, her and I and Alex Klein, who is a great writer, produced Somebody Like That, and wrote on it with her. The three of us, and then my buddy Ben Stennis sat down in a room, and Ben kind of had this idea of like kind of that like over you is when I'm with you kind of idea. Man, we just hashed it out and had a great time writing that song. And by the time we left that day, had a demo that we were proud of. And man, she put it on a record, and I was lucky enough she asked me to hop on it with her. And then it was so fun. I'm such a fan of her. I think she's really authentic and she's really talented and really easy to be around. And then getting to work with that crew of people, man, it's what you want to do. You want to make music that you love with people that you love. So.
And speaking of which, again, I mean, I loved Hometown Boys. You did that with Dierks Bentley and HARDY for Hardy's Hicks Tape Volume 2. How much fun was that to be just involved in that project? I think everybody living in Nashville's on that.
Yeah, man. It's special. It's cool. I'm such a fan of both of those guys, and I've gotten to know Hardy a little bit, and Dierks to some extent, and getting to kind of be on a record with people that you really admire. Dierks, somebody I grew up listening to, and Hardy, somebody that is just one of the most talented people that you're going to run into. Man, it's it's just a ton of fun, and we're going to play it. That's another one that we add to the set because it just fits so well live, and yeah, man, it's really special. Like I said, you get to work with your friends.
I love the fact that your tour manager said to me, Matt's in sweats. And I'm like, just as you're saying that, I'm thinking you've actually dressed as Hardy.
I know, right? I look like a mixture of like if Hardy was going to go play pickup basketball right now. That's exactly right.
If Hardy was going to do porn.
Yes.
So what I really want to draw attention to is there's a gorgeous song that you wrote with Eric Pasley and Paul Sykes, Longer Than She Did, which was recorded by, apart from obviously Luke and Morgan, the man of the moment, Cody Johnson.
Yeah, man. It's I've been a Cody Johnson fan. I kind of cut my teeth in Texas, so I've been knowing who Cody was for a while. And yeah, dude, like I said, I moved to town to hopefully write songs for artists like him. And that's a real honky tonker, and they crush it live, man. They do. I've had an occasion to see. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen the tapes of it, like people videoing. And man, it's really special, and they absolutely crush it.
So you moved to Nashville, was it 2014?
Yeah.
And before that, you were in Matt, Stell and the Crashers.
Yeah, there was some overlap there, but yeah, I was in I had my little band, and we were based in, kind of my hometown in Arkansas, and then, we traveled a lot in the South and Midwest, and, then I was coming in and out of Nashville, but I finally made the move to Nashville full-time sometime around then, and yeah, that was, man, a lot of fun days and a lot of really crappy vans driving all around the country, man. And we had some great times. I'm glad that our stuff looks a little different now, but man, I wouldn't take those days for anything, man.
That's the thing. So with like Pride for You, a lot of people would go overnight success, but you were out there doing the education, cutting your teeth, and
oh yeah, man. That's just how. I would, like I said, I was, kind of trying to follow my muse, and that has a little more independent streak than what country radio, sometimes is a little bit, you can get kind of out of that lane a little easy, and if you're not like a big established artist, getting out of that lane is not always a great thing. So I was always, mindful of that, and that I wanted to, good or bad, I wanted to make something kind of, unique. And a lot of it was really bad. A lot of it was, and every now and then you'll find a diamond in the rough. But yeah, man, I moved to Nashville, and that's what I spent my time doing, cutting my teeth and making records and not knowing anything what I was doing and making all kind of mistakes, and then moving to Nashville and kind of seeing how it gets done and why it gets done, and then hopefully, especially now, with this new project and the stuff that I have coming out after this, it really is kind of I've learned how to do it, and I've have some really talented friends that I want to do it with, and by do it I mean make music, and I want to really tap into that independent streak that I came up with, and I'm really excited about that for the One of Us EP, and then even more going forward after that. I've got some tricks up my sleeve I'm excited about.
Is that a work in progress, or could we expect it maybe this year?
I would hope we can expect it this year. It's always tough, like it used to. You would have a plan for singles and a plan for a record release that would coincide with this and that, but the world moves in such a fluid way now, and you can get music out so much faster that the physical product doesn't have to ship, so your timelines aren't as rigid, so they get pushed around, blah blah blah. Who cares? But at the end of the day, it's like, yes, that is the plan. It could change, it could be sooner, it could be later, we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to touring on this One of Us EP, and and then I'm looking forward to the music I'm gonna make coming out of it.
That's the thing that must be quite frustrating, though, is in like you talk about with the downloading and streaming and the rate of new releases, and yet at country radio, it seems to take like a year for a song to peak.
It does for new artists like me. It definitely does. But it's like I don't want to complain too much. I'm very lucky to have a couple songs that have done their thing, and a couple that didn't but still did all right. And at this point, it's just like I'm about to walk across the street from us right now, and I'm about to my first show in the most musical country in Europe, maybe, and I'm about to go play songs that I made up for people. And so when I keep my focus on that as opposed to the state of the business or what COVID did to us or blah blah blah, I'm in a lot better headspace, and I enjoy things a lot better, and I'm much more grateful for these opportunities.
You have toured with people like Chris Young and Miranda Lambert and Old Dominion. What have you learned from even just standing side stage watching those guys?
Yeah, well, I've learned a level of professionalism. I've learned how things get done. I've learned how like Miranda's one of my kind of heroes in all this. I think she has that independent thing, and you can say what you want about her music that she makes, but one thing is it's always fresh and it's always her, and she knows who she is, and I aspire to that, man. And I think she is just so talented in so many different ways, and so that it's really empowering to watch people like that. When I come to crossroads of like I said, kind of trying to navigate, the music business as an artist, and I see how some of my heroes do it, and I'm like, it's empowering to watch what they do for sure, especially her.
And just very finally, I noticed that last year there was this handwritten copy of the lyrics to Prayed For You signed, and it was auctioned off, and the proceeds would go towards Music Health Alliance, and it raised like over $1,000. That's lovely. And also tell me about your Give a Damn Foundation, why you decided to establish that and how that's grown.
Yeah, man. Like I literally live a dream. I mean, that's just what I wanted to do, and I get to see the world when I'm doing it. And but part of living the dream is helping people. Like I think with music, music gives me a buzz, and the beer I drink when I'm playing music gives me a buzz, and helping people gives me a buzz, and meeting, and whatever, like meeting a girl gives you a buzz, and that's and doing right by people and using, that's just another way to feel good and for the best reasons. I mean, it adds to the good time, number one, and then number two, I get to, give back a little bit, because I'm telling you, man, I don't have many complaints. I catch myself, I get real mad at myself if I ever feel complaining, because, man, I mean, like the sun's shining right here on our backs. It's I don't have much to complain about, man. So the Give a Damn Foundation is my way to just kind of give back. Sorry, I'm riffing over here, but.
Matt, listen, appreciate it. Listen,
Absolutely.
And thank you in general just for coming over and playing
Absolutely.
in Ireland. There's a massive fan base there for you, and if you just keep coming back, it's going to grow and grow and grow.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm going to keep coming back. My taxi driver was telling me on the way over here, pointing out who's played where and everything, and that big football stadium was down at the end of the road, and he said that's where Springsteen's favorite place is to play, and I was like, man, me too, one day maybe. Who knows?
Do you know Garth did 5 nights in there last year?
That's incredible. Yeah, he said he sold like 400,000 tickets or something insane, man. That's so crazy. What a love of music there is here. It's a special place, man.